Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll explain you the very beginning lines of Merchant of Venice. I already explained you few of the lines of the Merchant of Venice drama which was written by William Shakespeare. So here the continuation of the first Act 1 Scene 1 of Merchant of Venice. So I am to learn. So here Antonio was telling that I should learn the reason behind my sadness and such a want which sadness makes of me. I did not know the reason behind my sadness. What really made me feel like this, I did not know the reason behind it. I did not know the reason why was I in the state of this sadness, that I have much ado to know myself. And he was telling that he had to work very hard to understand about his life because he already forgot everything about himself because he was worrying about the ships, according to Salarino and Salanio. Salarino and Salanio are the friends of the merchant. The merchant is the Merchant of Venice. Okay, the title itself represents Antonio. Salarino, your mind is tossing on the ocean. You are worried about your ships. So Salarino was telling that you might be worrying about your ships. I think your mind is is also tossing on the ocean. That means your mind is also traveling along with the ships because you are worrying about your ships. Your mind is out there. I think your mind is also traveling along with the ships which are sailing to the other parts of the world to trade with the other countries. I think the goods and the other commodities are traveling on the ocean through the ship. So your mind is also traveling along with those ships. That was said by Salarino. Salarino is one of Antonio's friends. Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There where your argosies with a portly sail, and also they're getting tossed around on the ocean with. I think your argosy means a rich merchant ship, a ship which is decorated well and which is carrying many goods of the merchant. Okay, so where your argosies with a portly sail, so they are sailing on the ocean. So your mind is also traveling along with the ships on the ocean. So that reason was given by Salarino about Antonio's sadness in Act 1, Scene 1 of Merchant of Venice. There where your argosies with a portly sail. Actually, Salarino was telling that your mind is traveling on the ocean along with those ships, like seniors and rich burghers on the flood. So here they're getting tossed around on the ocean with them, but they are fine. So actually, Salarino is telling that your ships are really fine. They did not have any problem. They are really fine. Like seniors and rich burghers, they are like huge parrot floats on the sea. So they are like a great ships, a very rich ships. And they are like seniors means the sirs. That is a great title for the people who survived on the Shakespearean period. Okay, so during that time, the people used to be called as seniors to give them respect. So people used to call the great people with the title senior. Senior means sir. Seniors and rich burghers on the flood. So here, those ships are compared as the seniors. That means you are a great merchant. You are deserved to be called as a senior. So in the same way, your ships are also traveling on the ocean like seniors. They are also in the great position. They are richly decorated and they are completely covered. They are completely filled with the goods, very expensive goods. They are traveling on the ocean. Rich burghers on the flood. Okay, so here the Shakespeare is calling the sea as a flood. Flood means flood really forces all the things whichever comes in the way of a water. Water comes as a flood. In the same way, for example, if you are traveling on the ocean, if you are traveling on the sea, sometimes you may see the cyclones and tsunamis and some of the other problems, some of the other climatic changes in the ocean. So those changes would also affect the ships which are traveling on them. In the same way, the dramatist Shakespeare is comparing the sea as a flood, or as it were, the pageants of the sea. and they are like huge parrot floats on the sea. They are so big they look down on the smaller ships, and also these ships are very big in size and they look down on the smaller ships. And these ships which are in a great height, they are looking at the small ships which are also traveling on the ocean. Okay, and the pigeons of the sea, so they are like a small common people. They are the common people. For example, if a great person walks on the street, if any common man comes across this great gentleman who has a great financial status walking on the road, if that person is caught by the sight of a common man, that common man definitely gives some sign of a respect. They will bow down, or they'll say, they'll wish that person, or they'll give some blessing, or they simply appreciate the great person who has a great financial status. The pigeons of the sea to overpeer the petty traffickers. So here they are so big they look down on the smaller ships, which all have to bow and then get out of the way. So those petty traffickers, actually petty traffickers means here the dramatist is comparing the small common ships as the petty traffickers. There are some small ships which are also traveling on the ocean. They are compared as the common men, whereas the merchant Antonio ships are compared as the wealthiest people. Okay, merchant ships are compared as the wealthiest people. So whenever the wealthiest person walks on the way, the common people show their token of respect. In the same way, these small ships are also bowing in front of the great merchant ships of Antonio, the courtesy to them. That means they are giving some sort of respect to the great ships of Antonio. Do them reverence. That means they are giving some kind of respect to the reverence. Means what? For example, if you want to give respect to any person, then you can call them, then you can give a title reverend. Reverend. We use this title before the pastors and the great people in the society. Do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings. So your ships fly like birds past those little birds. And also, here the dramatist, actually Salarino was telling that your ships are the great ships and those common ships are flying like the birds. Okay, so your ships are flying like birds and past those little birds. Your ships are actually going so fast and they are passing these little common ships on the sea.